Hi students, how are you? My name is Sushant Kumar Panda and my channel name is Mission Chemistry for JEE, NEET and CBSE. Okay, and the basic objective of my channel is to teach you chemistry. So what I will do is I will create several videos on chemistry covering several topics for JEE, NEET and CBSE stream pupils. So those who are studying in CBSE for 9 to 12 and candidates, those who are preparing for JEE and NEET, these videos will be definitely useful for them. So dear students, you will ask me, there are already several videos available in YouTube on chemistry subject, correct? So on what way your video is different from them? So definitely I will explain you. I will mostly focus on the concept of the chemistry. You know, concept understanding is more important in chemistry because in NEET and JEE exam, the questions will be twisted and there will be no direct questions. So unless otherwise you understand the concept of chemistry, it will be very, very difficult for you to attend such questions. So today I will start with basics of chemistry part 1. As you know, basics of chemistry, it is a huge chapter and there are several topics available in it. So I will take around 7 to 8 videos and I will start posting these videos on my channels day by day. So today I will be starting with the basic of chemistry part 1, which is classification of matter. Progressively I will be posting about atomic mass, equivalent mass, molecular mass, then law of chemical combinations, then oxidation and reduction reactions, then it will come molarity, normality, molality, concentration terms of other solutions. So all this will come progressively one by one. So today I will start with classification of matter. It is very, very theoretical class. There is no numeric problem here. So let us start the classification of matter. Okay. So matter, as we all know, there is a definition available for matter in all books. So matter is anything that occupies some mass and it takes some space. Okay, so all are matter. So I will not go much into the definition. I will explain you the matter is everything that exists in this universe is a matter, because all the substance in the universe that exist has some mass and it can take some space. It occupies some space, correct? Even if the particle is so small or so microscopic, does not matter. It has some mass and it can occupy some space. So all the substance that exists in the universe for me is a matter, correct? So now this matter can be broadly classified into two categories. One we can classify as a physical, another is chemical classification. Okay, so here I can do it physical, here I can say chemical. So matter is broadly classified into physical and chemical. Now coming to physical, physical is further subdivided into 3 states of matter. One is solid, then liquid and gas. Okay, solid, liquid, gas. So what about chemical? There is also a classification on chemical part here. Chemically, matter is classified into 2 broad categories. One is pure substance, another is impure substance, another is impure substance. Okay, now let us talk about the physical classification, which is solid, liquid and gas. We have been reading this for several years. Maybe you have been reading in our primary classes about solid, liquid and gas. So I will not explain in much detail what is solid, what is liquid and what is gas, but I will give some brief, about the solid and liquid and gas, some property of solid and liquid gas, so that you can differentiate between solid, liquid and gas so briefly. So if I go to the property of safe and volume, okay, safe and volume, so I can say solid has a definite safe and definite volume also. Why? Because in solid the intermolecular distance is so close, the intermolecular distance is so small that the particles in the solid are very close to each other, so they take a compact safe. So because of the compact safe, they take a safe itself, and also they occupy some volume. Okay, so it has safe as well as volume. But if I come to the liquid part, see, liquid does not have any safe, because you see, any liquid, let us say some water, you pour in the floor, it will flow around the floor to take the safe of the floor, and it does not have its own safe. Okay, but again, the same liquid, let us say water, you pour in a container, let us say in a bottle, it takes the safe of the bottle. It does not have its own safe, but it has certain volume. Okay, because if you take in a bottle where there is some mark is available, the volume marks are available, let us say you have taken 200 ml water and pour it in it, it will take its volume as 200 ml. But the safe, it will take the safe of the bottle. As per the safe of the bottle, the liquid will take its safe. So it does not have any safe, but it has some volume. So what about gas? The gas does not have a definite safe and it does not have a definite volume. I'm telling definite volume, not volume. Okay, gas has some volume, but it does not have any definite volume. Because same example I will take, let us take some gases and pour in a container, let's say in a bottle or any other container. The gas will be uniformly distributed throughout the container. That means it takes the safe of the bottle as well as it is distributed throughout the bottle. That means it occupies the whole volume of the bottles or the container. That does mean gas does not have any particular safe or volume of its own. Okay. Now coming back to the second property, if I will talk about intermolecular distance, as I told, the intermolecular distance means the particle distance, the particles that they are in the solid. Now in case of solid, the particle distance between each particle inside the solid is very less. So they are very close to each other, so they always take a compact structure. Okay, compact structure. But whereas in liquid, the intermolecular distance, the molecule to molecule distance within the liquid is little more. It is more than the solid. So intermolecular distance in case of gas is furthermore, the molecular distance between the gas molecules are far away from each other. So here for intermolecular distance, solid is less, liquid is more than solid. For gas, it is much higher. Safe in volume, I told, solid has safe its own, okay, but liquid has volume but no safe. Volume, no safe. Gas, no definite volume and safe. Okay, volume and safe. Now if I come to another property of as density. The density of the solid is very high in comparison to the density of the liquid and the gases. What's the reason? Again, the same reason that the interparticle distance or intermolecular distance inside a solid is very less, so the structure is more rigid, so it takes a less volume in comparison to the liquid and gas. For example, I will take the same mass of solid, liquid and gas substance. Let's say I take 100 gram of solid, some sugar, 100 gram of liquid and 100 gram of some gas. Okay, now the formula of density is mass upon volume. The formula of density is mass upon volume. So here I've taken mass, in each case 100 gram. Now let us say I measure the volume. Here the volume, let's say X, here Y, and it is Z. Because the mass remains same in all cases of solid, liquid and gas, here if I measure the volume, definitely this volume is much less in comparison to this volume and this volume. And this volume will be more than this volume, and this volume is more than this volume. That means when the volume is less, the denominator is less, the density part is high. Because denominator less, the whole, the total density will be more. If the volume will go on increasing here, that means the denominator is getting increased, that means the density is getting decreased. So here in case of density, for solids it is high, for liquid it is less than the solid, and for gas it is further lesser than the solid and liquid. Okay, like this we have several properties of solid, liquid and gas, so you all know all these things. Now let us see the chemical classification part is very important. See here, chemical classification wise, a matter is classified as pure substance and impure substance. Now tell me, students, what do you mean by pure substance? Okay, do you know what is pure substance? See, any substance that present its purity as 100% is called a pure substance. If the purity is not 100%, that does mean something is mixed in it, so it is an impure substance. So in substance to be pure, its purity must be 100%. If it is less than 100%, that does mean there is any other substance that has been already mixed with this substance, so its percentage purity is decreased. In this case, the substance cannot be called as pure substance, it can called as an impure substance. Now see, let us see further classification of pure and impure substance. Pure substance can be further classified as elements and compounds. Elements and compounds. Okay. So what is element? Have you seen the periodic table? In our periodic table, there are almost 118 elements has been discovered, and that has been put in the periodic table, arranged in the periodic table. All those elements are represented in the periodic table in their atomic states. So all those are called elements. So what I want to say is, here element is takes two forms. One is atomic form, which is called atoms, and elements also take another form that is called molecular form, which is called molecules. That means if the element is in its single state, for example, I will take, let's say, all 118 elements that is present in the periodic table: hydrogen, helium, neon, anything you can take, calcium, magnesium, sodium, silicon, germanium, lead. Okay, whatever element name you take, all those elements, what they are represented in the periodic table as a single state, all those elements, if the elements are present in the single state, they are called atoms. Now, then what is molecule? What is the molecular form of an element? See, normally the atoms, they don't want to be there in their single state always. They want to be always tend to react and form molecular form because they are not stable in their atomic state. They always reactive and they combine with one another. More than one atom always combines chemically to form a different substance that is called molecule. So here let us say we have talked hydrogen, sodium, oxygen, atoms. Any one of the atom I will take it. Let us say hydrogen. If one atom of hydrogen combine with another atom of hydrogen to form a hydrogen molecule, and this combination is a chemical combination, there must be a chemical combination. That means here when it combines chemically, it forms a H2 gas, hydrogen gas. Okay, this is a molecular form of the element. Here same kind of two atoms are joined together chemically and form a substance that is called a molecule. That means what I can say is when same kind of two or more atoms are joined together to form a different substance together, that substance is called a molecule. So here, because here same kind of atom are combined together, I can call this molecule a homoatomic molecule. Homo means similar. Molecule. That means an element existing two form, one is atomic form and another is homoatomic molecular form. Homoatomic molecular form. Okay. Then what is compound? See, in case of homoatomic molecule or molecule, we told that the similar kind of atom or same kind of atom, two or more same kind of atom are combined together to form a molecule, then that is called a molecule or homoatomic molecule. But in case of compound, if two or more atom of different kind are combined together, there in that case we get a compound. Let me take an example. Water. Okay, water molecular formula is H2O. Here two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom is combined to form one water molecule. This water molecule is called a compound. Here hydrogen is one kind of atom, oxygen is another kind of atom. These two are chemically combined to form a different substance that is H2O. Please remember, when a compound is formed from its different kind of atom, the compound which is formed, there must be a chemical reaction and substance or the compound which is formed, its property is quite different from the property of its individual atom. That means once it is formed, the hydrogen loses its own property, oxygen loses its own property. These two properties does not reflect in water. Water has its own property which is different from hydrogen and oxygen. So this is a new substance form that is called compound. So for a simple molecule, homoatomic molecule, there must be two or more atoms of same kind chemically combined, while in case of compound, there must be a two or more atoms of different kind chemically combined to form a new substance whose property is different from the property of the individual atom which combine. So that is called a compound. Now it is, what about impure substance? Impure substance we can call also as mixture. Okay. So what do you mean by impure substance or mixture? The substance which is not pure, which is not there in its 100% purity, that substance is called an impure substance. Whose purity level is decreased, whose purity level is less than 100, then it is called an impure substance, or we can call it as a mixture. Now, in order to give you more clarity about pure and impure substance, I can give an example. Let us say you are going to market to purchase gold, correct? You are all know you go to the market for purchasing gold. I also to go sometimes. So let's say, have you heard about the 24 karat gold, 23 karat gold, 22 karat gold? What does it mean? It does mean that if you talk about 22 karat gold, its purity level is around 91.6%. That means in this 22 karat gold, 91.6% only gold is present inside that. The other are some 8.4% is impurities, and this impurity maybe it may be copper, it may be zinc, it may be tin, something, whatever may be. So in this composition of 22 karat gold, you have 91.6% only purity, whereas the 8.4% is something other substance are mixed. So that is not a pure substance. The gold of 22 karat is not a pure substance. But you talk about your 24 karat gold, let us say, that is almost pure. It nearly reaches to 100%. So what I can say you here is the substance which is present its purity of 100%, that is pure. Otherwise it's a impure substance. Then another example I can give you. What about water? Drinking water. You are taking drinking water, correct? The water. So what is that water? Is it a pure substance or impure substance? Do you have any idea? See, the water we are getting from various sources, correct? And if you take some sample of water and get tested in the laboratory, you will see that water does not remain in that. The water molecules H2Os will not be 100% inside that water. We will certainly get some impurities in the form of minerals. So we may have the minerals may be present in the form of sodium salt, potassium salt, magnesium salt, like that, calcium salt. So this calcium, sodium, magnesium, sometimes iron, these minerals are present in the water. So the water compound inside the water sample will not be as 100% because the minerals are present inside the water. That's why the drinking water we cannot call as a pure substance. Again, it is a impure substance. Of course, this mineral is very important for our health. We need it. But the water, what I'm talking about, it is not a pure substance. But when it will be pure substance, when you remove those impurities, salt from it, you make it a distilled water. Have you heard distilled water or DM water, demineral water? That means if you remove these minerals from this water, that water becomes a pure substance. So here I explained you again the pure substance. Now if you talk about impure substance is further divided into impure substance or mixture, we can say, is further divided into homogeneous mixture, and one is heterogeneous. Homo, the word itself says that similar. Hetero, the word itself says that different. Okay? So, in order to get a homogeneous mixture, what we need to do is, what is the requirement? When two or more element or compound is get mixed physically, there should not be any chemical reaction occur. They should only mixed physically, but there should not be any chemical reaction. In that case, we get a mixture. That means when we mix different element or two different compound, there should not be any chemical reaction, and the property of that mixture where we are getting is the property of individual element should retain and should not lose its own property. So the new substance or new mixture that is happened or that is obtained, it will not have a different property than the individual property of the element or compound that is mixed. So a mixture is a substance where we can get by mixing up two different elements or two different compounds physically. There should not be any chemical reaction and the property of individual elements still retained in the mixture. If I give an example, let us say take an example of two elements combined to form a mixture. Let us say brass. In brass, it is a mixture of copper and zinc in the ratio of maybe 70 to 80% this is, and zinc maybe 30 to 20%. So what happens normally, the copper is liquefied and the zinc is liquefied and both are mixed together, that makes a brass. So here in this brass, copper will retain its own property, zinc will also retain its own property, both will not lose their property inside the brass. That means brass is a different substance it is formed, but the substance is not, the property of the substance is not different from the property of individual element like copper and zinc. Still in the brass you will find the property of copper and zinc itself. These two elements does not lose its property here. And this alloy, this is called an alloy. So, and brass is an example of homogeneous mixture. Why it is homogeneous? A mixture is said to be homogeneous. A mixture is said to be homogeneous when it has a uniform composition and there is no visibility of any phase difference between the substance which is mixed. Means, see here, when I mixed copper and zinc, liquefied and mixed in it, you cannot find where is copper and where is zinc. There is a uniform composition of copper and zinc inside the brass. You cannot find any phase difference between copper and zinc inside the brass. So it is uniformly distributed and mixed. So this mixture is called a homogeneous mixture. Then what is heterogeneous mixture? A mixture is said to be heterogeneous when the substance that is mixed, two or more substance that is mixed, will have a clear cut phase of separation. And they does not maintain uniformity inside the mixture. For example, if I give let's say we mix sand particles with iron pieces. When I mix it thoroughly, it will not mix uniformly. You can still find sand particles and you can still find iron particles. You can pick. So if you take any sample from it, you can find sand particle, you can pick, iron particles. So the phases is not uniform. It is not distributed uniformly. The iron pieces and the sand pieces are not distributed uniformly. It can clearly visible the phase difference between the iron and sand. So it is an example of heterogeneous mixture. If I give another example, any example you can take it. Let's say I will mix oil with water. Again, oil will not be completely miscible in water. So you will have a clear-cut phase difference between oil and water. So this is again an example of heterogeneous mixture. So one good example I can take for homogeneous mixture also. Let's say take some sodium chloride or glucose and add it in water. Is it heterogeneous or homogeneous mixture? Of course it is homogeneous mixture, because when you mix the glucose or sodium chloride, table salt, and you stir it inside the water, it will completely dissolve inside the water. Now the composition is a uniform composition. That means when you draw a sample of that solution, glucose or sodium chloride solution, from any part, you will not distinguish, you cannot find where is sodium chloride and where is water compound. it is completely miscible and there is no phase difference. So that is again an example of homogeneous mixture, and I given an example of heterogeneous mixture. What is that? Now again, here I talk about, let me write here compound here. Here the element is further subdivided, into metals, non-metals and metalloids. If you go to the periodic table, of course, the periodic table chapter I will explain you later, will go into minute detail, but once the class is over, please go through the periodic table for some 2 minutes. Then you will see all the 118 elements inside it, and in that the periodic table we can find these elements. Some of them are metals, some of them are non-metals, and some of them are metalloids. This is done, this separation is done based on their particular properties. They have some properties, metal have some different properties, non-metal have different properties, and metalloid also, their property is in between the metals and non-metal. So because of their different in properties, they have been, differentiated as metal, non-metal and metalloids. And if you, in the periodic table, if you go and search, you will find some of them are metal, some of them non-metal, and some of the metalloids. Basically the, group 1 and group 2 are called, mostly they are metal, alkali metal and alkali earth metal. Then progressively, if you go to the group 3, group 4, like that, the metallic character goes on decreasing and the non-metallic character goes on increasing, and also you will find some metalloid in between. So I can take an example, all the group 1A, group 2A, potassium, calcium, magnesium, these are all metals. And if you go to the right side, then carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, these are non-metals. Some example of metalloids is silicon and germanium, these are metalloids. So I'm not going much detail into the metal, non-metal and metalloids at this moment, because this chapter will be covered during the periodic table. We'll go in minute detail of the periodic table to understand the properties. So I just briefed what is, the metals, non-metals and metalloids are separated based on their properties. Okay. Now my dear students, this is a brief of classification of matter. Hope you have understood what I told. Now I will make a clear cut, skeleton of again the classification of matter, so that you can take a screenshot. Physical, chemical, liquid, gas, chemical is pure substance, then impure substance, then pure substance is further divided into elements. This is compound. Element can stay as atom, then or molecule, then impure substance we can call as mixture. It is, we can say, homogeneous, heterogeneous. Please take a screenshot of this skeleton again quickly. Thank you. Now I will give you one small questions on the classification of matter to solve it. find out which one is element, compound, mixture. You will tell okay. So O, is it an element or compound or mixture? Who can say? As we already taught that element can take two form, one in atomic form and another is molecular form. Here O is it in atomic form, so we can call it as an element. H2, again we talk about an element can take atomic form or molecular form. So H2 is in its molecular form or homoatomic molecular form, again it is an element. O3, ozone, 3 oxygen are mixed here, combined here chemically to form a ozone gas. So again it is an element. Glucose solution, that means the glucose powder is mixed in water to make a solution. So is it an element, compound or mixture? Definitely it is a mixture because two or more substances here combined here, and here this is again an example of homogeneous mixture. Sand and sugar, if you mixed, what will happen? It is an example of mixture, but it is an example of heterogeneous mixture because here there is a clear-cut phase of separation and there is no uniformity maintained in the mixture. Brass, I told already during my class, so it is again a mixture because it is mixed copper and zinc, but the composition is uniform and there is no phase separation, so it is a mixture but homogeneous mixture. Hope, my dear students, today's class is over and I think you have understood a little bit about my classes. So if you like my class here, if you like my video, so please, please share my video as much as possible. Please subscribe my channel. I'll also put a like button. Click the like button and kindly send it to your friends and relatives. Share it to your friends and relatives as much as possible. Also kindly click the notification button so that when my new videos will be coming, you will get a notification. So thank you very much for watching my video. Bye bye. I will meet you in my next class, which is very, very important. The class will be on last chemical combinations. I will come it shortly. Bye bye. ढेर सारा शेयर कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए. Bye bye.